Why do we feel as adults we feel guilty and ashamed while we're resting? And today we're going to talk about this and explain this and why it happens. And yes, when an adult feels guilty or unsafe resting and believes my worth equals my productivity, it's because as a child they learned through experience that love, safety, and respect only came when they were useful, obedient, or successful. Everything else is a detail of how that lesson was taught into them. 1. What the child's nervous system learns. A child doesn't think in theories, they learn through repeated emotional experiences. Over time, the child's body and mind form core rules like if I perform, I am safe. If I rest, I am at risk. If I'm not useful, I'm invisible or a problem. These rules become automatic, not conscious. As an adult, they don't decide to feel guilty when resting. Their nervous system fires guilt and anxiety by itself. 2. The main childhood situations that create this. 2.1 Conditional love and approval. What happened? Parents praised the child mainly for good grades, helping, being mature, achievements, when the child was just being, playing, resting, being emotional, they got ignored, criticized, ashamed. Where the child learns, I am lovable when I perform. My being is not enough, only my doing is. Rest later feels like withdrawing from love. 2.2 High criticism and perfectionism. What happened? Mistakes were punished or mocked. You can do better was constant. Success was normal. Failure was unacceptable. What the child learns, I am never enough. I must constantly improve to avoid shame. As an adult, rest feels like failing the invisible standard. 2.3 Emotional neglect. What happened? The child's feelings were dismissed, stop crying, minimized. It's not a big deal, ignored. You're too sensitive. But their performance was noticed. What the child learns, my inner world doesn't matter, only what I produce matters. So, as an adult, inner needs feel irrelevant. Outer and outer output fills everything. 2.4 Parentification. The child becomes the adult. What happened? The child had to care for siblings, manage chores, emotionally support a parent, be the strong one. There was no space to just be a child. What the child learns, if I don't keep going, everything falls apart. Resting is selfish and dangerous. As an adult, their body still behaves like that child. Rest equals risk, work equals safety. 2.5 Fear based or chaotic home. What happened? Yelling, unpredictability, tension, walking on eggshells. The child stayed alert to avoid trouble. What the child learns, I must stay on guard. Relaxing means I'll be blindsided. Their nervous system never learned how to downshift, so as an adult, stillness feels unsafe, not peaceful. 2.6 Parents who modeled self sacrifice and overwork. What happened? Parents never rested, always worked, always stressed. They called themselves lazy if they relaxed. They praised hard work but never modeled healthy rest. What the child learns, good people work non-stop. Resting equals laziness, equals bad person. So the adult feels morally wrong when resting. 3. How the child's brain encodes all this. The child's brain doesn't store these as sentences. It stores them as associations. Rest to anxiety, shame, disapproval. Achievement to praise, attention, safety. Over thousands of repetitions, the brain wires to feel okay, I must be productive. If I stop, something bad will happen, externally or internally. This becomes a core belief system, not a conscious choice. 4. It shows up in the adult. As an adult, this looks like guilt when resting. I should be doing something. Anxiety in free time. feeling restless, uneasy, like they're wasting time. Self-worth tied to output, feeling good only after being productive, feeling worthless or on lazy days, difficulty enjoying hobbies, turning everything into a goal, skill, or improvement project. Trouble with self compassion, being harsh on themselves for needing rest. Inside the script is if I'm not useful, I don't deserve peace. If I'm not productive, I'm failing as a person. 5. The core childhood wound in one line. All of this comes from one deep message the child absorbed. Who I am is not enough. I must earn my right to exist by doing, helping, achieving, or performing. So the adult doesn't just dislike rest, their entire nervous system is wired to believe that rest equals loss of worth, safety, and identity. That's why it feels so uncomfortable.